Thank you for tuning in to Clickbait News. I'm your host, Johnny Clickbait, bringing you the news you didn't know you need to know. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up as we bring humor to the headlines. Today's topic is Alina Habba, the comically inept attorney who just lost her client Donald Trump a whopping $83.3 million in damages. Mostly because she seems to have forgotten that she's already lost the main trial leading up to this, and already cost Donnie $signs another $5 million for sexual assault. So congrats, Alina. I'm not sure if your goal was to help E. Jean Carroll really stick it to her assaulter, but you did one hell of a job convincing the jury that they should really make you and Donald Trump pay. Talk about the most expensive lack of a legitimate legal defense ever.
A New York jury has ordered former President Donald Trump to pay a total of $83.3 million to writer E. Jean Carroll for defaming her after she accused him of sexual assault decades earlier.
Carroll's lawyers had asked the anonymous 9-person jury for heavy damages against the former president, pointing to Mr. Trump's continuing attacks, both from the White House as president and after leaving office.
William Brangham is here to help us make sense of the jury's decision. So, William, let's break down what the specific damages are, because the total amount is more than 8 times what Ms. Carroll asked for in her initial lawsuit.
That's right. It was a pretty stunning number that came out today, $83.3 million total. And let's break those down, what they actually are. $7.3 million was offered for emotional harm, $11 million in reputational damage, and $65 million in punitive damages. That's what the jury was able to decide on their own.
This is what happens when you show up to the racetrack with a show pony. But I'm starting to worry that Donald Trump doesn't actually know the difference.
And another person who's a warrior, she happens to be a beautiful woman, but I never think about that because I never talk about beauty. To me, I can see the most beautiful woman in the world. It doesn't register with me at all. Beauty doesn't matter. But she's beautiful, but she's a great lawyer. And she's been a tremendous protector of a lot of very important people, and she's done an incredible job, and she has tremendous courage.
And sadly, this speech was before Donald McRonald really made a clown of himself in court along with his main attraction.
That Alina Habba is now the front runner for worst Trump lawyer to appear in court. This is just, and for lawyers, what I'm about to read is absolutely stunning. This is a moment that she has with the judge where she is reading a document in court. The judge says, "What exhibit is this, Ms. Habba?" "Ms. Habba, I'm trying to get it in, Your Honor. I have to ask about it." The judge, "Guess what? You may not read from a document that's not in evidence." Ms. Habba, "Sure, let me get it in." The judge, "No, we're going to take a break now, during which you should refresh your memory about how it is you get a document into evidence."
Yeah, John, an eventful day this morning, to say the least, that had nothing to do with even the closing arguments. So it began, as you say, when Donald Trump's team was already late, which the judge noted when he took the bench. Then Donald Trump did enter the courtroom, and they were arguing still, before the jury even got in there, about a slide that the Trump's team wanted to use in their presentation. And Carroll's lawyers said it included things that were not in evidence in the case. The judge said it was out. That's when Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, stood up to challenge the judge on his ruling. He's made it very clear throughout this trial, when he rules, and that's it. She started to challenge him. He had hit his limit and said, "You are on the verge of spending some time in the lockup. Now sit down." Now,
poor Alina, she just can't get a break. It seems like those good looks can only get you so far.
Alina, would you rather be smart or pretty? And I said, "Oh, easy. Pretty. I can fake being smart."
Here's the thing, Alina. You just are that blatantly dumb, and there's no concealer that can cover that up. It's astonishing that somebody can top Rudy Giuliani on being such a bad lawyer. This isn't playing out like the Legally Blonde fantasy you think it is. It's just your own sad narrative about a buffoon in the courtroom.
Do you know both of them? Do you think it's the other way around, that he regrets having represented him in this?
I'm glad you asked me that question. I don't know. I mean, certainly, from my perspective, I would regret having her represent him. I do think that in both of these trials, he was essentially undefended. And I think that it could have turned out differently. I mean, in the second trial, unfortunately, because of the way the first trial went, I don't think anybody could have won the second trial. I think that, once the issues were set up from the first trial, second trial was a loser from the beginning. The question is how big of a loser. And this goes back to, a jury is going to come up with a number. And you have to put on the best presentation to them to get them to come to a lower number. And so all of these, things that she did throughout the process, I don't think helps at all.
What do you think about how she's handled the case?
I think she's handled it in the mafia way. She's done his bidding. She's articulated his political narrative of victimization and unfairness in the judicial system, and made some outlandish claims, including the conflict claims. And she lost, so she's a loser. I'm not surprised that Trump is looking for appellate representation.
And poor Alina is getting roasted so hard that she's trying everything she can to inflate her ego back up. She's even liking tweets comparing her looks to Taylor Swift. Also one saying she isn't fired. But it seems like even this shit is starting to stink way too much for Diaper Dawn.
After Donald Trump lost $83 million in the E. Jean Carroll case, Alina Habba tweeted, "This is far from over, we're just getting started." And then Trump went online just a couple days later, and he posted, "I'm in the process, along with my team, of interviewing various law firms to represent me in an appeal." And then, of course, he went on his usual unhinged screed.
And I would say I hope the circus comes to an end one day, but it really is hilarious to watch the theatrics created by these clowns. I'm sure it will continue. But until then, stay curious, clickbaiters, and keep tuning in to see the show on Clickbait News. Let me know your thoughts on Trump's atrocious attorneys down below. Subscribe for more and leave a like to show your support. I'm Johnny Clickbait, signing off.